just wanted to go over some of the stuff that we talked about last week. Hopefully you got the file I sent over with the dyads for the Canon exercise. What do I have here? I know that I've talked a lot about the perfect fourths and fifths, and a little bit about the major and minor thirds and so forth. So I want to apply that to this exercise, and I did mention that we're doing this in the key of E major. We're starting on E and then we're ending on E. So that first dyad, it's a third. It's your root and your third, major third. And then the second dyad is we get under the B and we do a 5. The B and the fifth. So I mentioned we alternate between thirds and fifths. Minor third, and then a fifth. Major third, and then a fifth. Major third, major third, major third, fifth. Minor third, fifth. Major third, fifth. Major third, major third. Now, the reason that we're playing the alternating between the thirds and the fifths, as I mentioned, it's because we're playing the bass line E, B, C sharp, G sharp, A, E, A, B. That's our bass line, right? The reason we're playing a G sharp is because we are in the key of E, which, as I talked about last week, the key of E is going to be the one that our first sharp is always F sharp. Right? So if we go to the F and we sharp that, that makes the key of G major. Remember, the key is always the one after the sharp, the next letter after the sharp. It's F sharp is G major. The second sharp is the C. So 2 sharps is D major. Third sharp is a G. So 3 sharps, the next letter in the musical alphabet after G is A. So you sharp the G and you're an A major. Well, then you go ahead and you sharp the next one, which is a D. That's 4 sharps, and that puts you in E major. The next letter after D is E. So we're playing with 4 sharps. We're playing with F sharp, G sharp, C sharp, and D sharp. Hi, Kate. You need to get out. I can let you out. Excuse me, the cat has to go out. You going out? Come on. I'll let you back in. So that being said, that's why we're playing more sharps than we usually do, because we usually play in G, which is just the 1 sharp. So, because we're in E, your E is major, which, if you remember, it's not in G, because it's the relative minor. So E major, and then you get your B with a 5, And then your C sharp is minor, because the third is an E, which we know there's an E in the scale because it's the E major scale. And then you go down to this G sharp to a 5. And then A, the third for A, 1, 2, 3, is a C sharp because there's a C sharp in the key. So that makes A major. And then the E, we do a 5. And then the A is major. And then the B, it has a D sharp, which was our last sharp here, because we're going to keep E, so D is sharp. So that means that the B chord is going to be a major. So when we play E major and then we play that B5, it's an implied major because of our key. Even though we're playing just the 5, the chord of the harmony would be major. Just like this one's minor. And then you go down to that G sharp, and what would that be? That would be minor, because it has a B natural in it, which our scale does. We haven't sharped the B. So we have E, F sharp, G sharp, A, B, C sharp, D sharp, E. So the only natural notes we have are E, A, and B. Everything else is sharped. You have 4 sharps. There's 3 others that could be sharped for a total of 7. 4, 5, 6, 7. And those 3 would be E, A, and B. Not in that order, but we'll come back to that. So the E, A, and the B are the natural notes. And it just so happens that those are the 1, 4, and 5 of this key. So you got your E is 1, and then up to the 4, which, as you know, the octave would be down here, and then the 5. So those 3 are natural. Everything else is sharped in this key. And as it happens, in a major key, the chords, the only chords or dyads that would be major are the 1, 4, and 5. A major E, you're going to have an E major, an A major, and an F major. Not to be confused with sharps. The majors are the ones where you have 2 whole steps between your 1, 2, and 3. That's the major. So that's a G sharp because we're in the key of E. So from E, right? So your E is major, your B is major, your C sharp is minor, because it's not your 1, 4, or 5. Only these 3 are going to be major. So I wanted to explain that, how that relationship works. So your key, your root of your major key is obviously going to be a major. And then your 4 and your 5 are going to be your other majors. While everything else, your third will be minor, unless you have an accidental in there. So basically, the F sharp for the key of G, let's say we're gonna, here, let me explain it this way. This is, I'm changing key now. We're not doing the Canon right now. We're gonna do a different exercise, and that's, we're gonna go back to G. So your G, the key of G major, the one that I wrote down for you, that first scale that we practiced. That's a G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, and G, so it just has the one sharp in it. And you start with the G major because it has the third is that B. So your 1, 2, and 3 are going to be consecutive letter notes. In this case, G, A, and B. Now, whether it's major or minor doesn't change the letters. Okay? So, if we were to play a G minor, for example, it would be G, A, B flat. So it's still G, A, B. It's just that we flap the B instead of G, A, B natural, which is a major. Now I mentioned this could also be A flat, but you wouldn't, your scale wouldn't be G, A, I mean that's B flat, sorry. G, A, A sharp. You wouldn't do that because then you'd have two A's. You wouldn't have that in the scale. So G, as long as it's not a chromatic scale. G, A, B is your major. Hopefully I haven't lost you. So G major, because you have that B in it. And then A, your third is going to be a C natural, because we don't have any sharps besides F sharp. Right? So G, B, A, C, B, D, also a minor because it's a D natural. And then you get to C, and C's third is an E. And it's an E natural, so it is a major third. Why? Because in the key of G, C is your 4. So C has a major third, D has a major third, because it is your 5th. Also play it like this. Forgive my distortion, it's a little guitar amp. It's tiny little. So your 1, 4, and 5 are all majors. Everything else is your dyad's gonna be minor. So G, A minor, B minor, C major, D major, E minor, F sharp minor, F sharp minor. So if I were to not play at all these strings, it would be major, major, minor, minor, major. Because now we're back to G. Recognize that as a Ozzy Osbourne song. Believer, I think it is. I don't know if it's in that key, but those are the intervals. You do an octave and then your 5th. So G major, A minor, B minor, C major, D major, E minor, F sharp minor, and G again. if we play so similar to the way the whole half thing works, there's a pattern to the majors and minors within a key. So you have a major, and then you have two minors, and then you have two majors. And this is the only time, the 4 and the 5, it's the only time in the major key where you're going to have two major chords next to each other. Everything else, they have at least one minor in between. In fact, they all have two minors, don't they? So you have a major, minor, minor, major, major, minor, minor, and back to your tonic major. And major, minor, minor, major, and then major, minor, minor, major. So it's almost like a repeating pattern. Major, minor, minor, major, major, minor, minor, major. Except that the last major, there's just a 1 because it's your tonic again. So if you were to keep going, it would be major, minor, minor, major, major, minor, minor, major, minor again, minor, major, major, minor, minor, major, minor, minor. But the best thing to remember is that the 1, 4, and 5 will all be the majors, and any other dyads will be minor. So in this key of G major with the F sharp, we are playing, I wrote down the notes over here, so in case you've forgotten, the F is the one with the F clef on it, and that's the one that's sharp here. So this down here would be the G. So if we play G, B, G, that's the B, G. And then we go up to the A, B, and the C. And they alternate between the majors and the minors, as I was just talking about. But on the staff, the key signature lets you know which ones would be majors and minors. So we're doing 1, 3, 1, and then we go up to the A, and we'll make that a different measure, and then we're going 1, 3, 1, and a different measure to the B, still 1, 3, 1. The measure go to the C, and it's 1, 3, 1. It slipped a little there. But so on here it looks the same. It's always 1, 3, 1. But based on what the key signature is, they will be either major or minor. Because here you have G to B to G. And the B is natural, and it is 3 half steps away from, sorry, 4 half steps away from the G. And then your A is next, and that's A, C, A, because the line between them is B, right? A, B, C. Just so happens that your C is only a half step away from B, and so it is not 4 half steps. It's 3 half steps. So in this natural key, even in the key of C major, the A is minor. In fact, in the key of C major, the A is the relative minor. So you have a natural minor with the A. And then we go up to B, B, D, B, and that is another minor, another natural minor, because of the shift down here, the B to C, that moved everything relatively down a half step. So now your B, D is a minor. And then when you get here, C, F, and C. No, it's not F. Sorry, C, E, C. I still don't read music very well. So your C and E, it's a major. C and E. So why did it go back to being a major? Again, because the B, C step is only half. So while here, it went to major minor because of that half step between B and C. Well, up here, again, your root went from B to C. So your third went from D to E, which is a whole step. And your root just went from B to C, which is a half step. So the relationship, major, minor, minor, major. So, again, the third in the key of G major, the third note from G is B, G, A, B. And in that same key, starting on A, B, C, A, B, C, or A, B, C. And so your C is your third, which is minor. And then go to B, and you know it's B, C, D. And so it's only the 3 half steps away, which makes it minor again. So your B is minor. And then you go to C, C, D, E. And it's an E natural, not an E flat, because remember we only have the one sharp, and we don't mix sharps and flats. If you're in a sharp key, then all your accidentals should be sharps. C, D, E, which is 4 half steps away, so that's a major. So you got G major, A minor, B minor, C major. And your next note after C is naturally D, and it's a D natural because we just have the one sharp again. So D natural is a whole step away from C. And so what's the third gonna be? Well, now we come to that F sharp. So your D and your F sharp. And it's a major. So we have a major, minor, minor, major, D major, G major, A minor, B minor, C major, D major. And again, that's the only place you're going to have 2 major chords next to each other within a key. So what does that make the next one? It's E, it's your octave up. E, the double dots is your octave. And that is going to be, well, never mind, the E is your relative minor to G. Your third is going to be G. G is the third because G is the key, so you wouldn't have G sharp, which would be the other option from E. E, F, G, right? So E, F, G, would G be sharp? No, it would not, because it's G natural is our key, G major. So your E is naturally a minor. So again, G major, A minor, B minor, C major, D major, E minor. So of course the F sharp will also be minor because it's not your 1, your 4, or your 5. So that comes to a minor dyad. Now I also mentioned how you have those progressions that would be like said that the G is a major, and then when you go to that F sharp, it's not actually an F sharp chord. Now the reason that is that when we talked about the fifths, I said that the fifth is always a safe interval to play from your node. Well, with the F sharp, it's not actually an F sharp chord that goes with it. Now the reason is that your F sharp, it doesn't have a natural fifth in it, because the natural fifth is C sharp. And in G major, there is no C sharp. G, A, B, C, D, it skips right over that C sharp. So your fifth, your natural fifth from the F sharp is not in the key. So you would either play F sharp and C, which is one of the most dissonant sounds you're going to get out of the bass. It could be called an augmented fourth or a diminished fifth, because augmented and diminished are like sharps and flats for your perfect. They're like majors or minors for your perfect. Sorry, not sharps and flats, because they will be either sharp or flat. In this case, it's C sharp. And I said the fourth and the fifth are perfect. They don't have majors or minors. But when they are altered, this would be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is a diminished 5. I'm sure you've heard that in a lot of songs. And it's a popular thing, particularly with jazz, to use those diminished. But the F sharp, it's not an F sharp chord. However, the dyad would be minor because what would be in the third position would be an A natural. So when you get to that F sharp, we would play a minor third. It's not a third, it would actually be the fifth to a D chord. If you were to go G, and then you go down to that D, just like we do with the Canon. That would be the same as like going. So major, we have a minor, we have a second minor, we have another major, a second major, and then we have two more minors. Back to your tonic. So that was what I wanted to talk about today. So 1, 3, 1, and then when we change the dyad, the chord, this becomes our 1, and it's 1, 3, 1. Now within the scale, it's 1, 3, 1, 2, 4, 2, 3, 5, 3, 4, 6, 4, and so forth. But the 1, 3, 1, this is G to B, so that is major. And this is A to C, so that's minor. And this is B to D, so again, minor. And then you have C to E, which goes back to major. C natural and E natural, major. And then you go to D, which, if we were to continue this on, you'd have the same. D, F, D, and then E, G, E. Now remember, this F is sharp. So the D to F sharp is major. If we go from this D, and remember again, your 4 and your 5 are both going to be major. And then we switched up here to E, E, G, E, which again is minor. Your E natural to a G natural, it's naturally minor. And then you have your F, A, F. Again, this is sharp. Now incidentally, when you see an accidental like this, sharp, that sharp will apply to that F note throughout the measure. And this bar line ends that sharp. If there isn't a sharp in the next measure, then you play an F natural. There is a natural symbol, which looks like this, and that will erase any accidental that you put in, including the one in the key signature. If we sharp F here, but then you add an F in here, it's automatically sharp. If you put the natural symbol in front of it, it erases that sharp for that instance of the note within that measure. The next measure, you assume it's sharp again. When you only add the accidental in the measure, then it only applies to that measure. In the next measure, an F would be natural, unless it's sharped again. You wouldn't normally do this, have it in the key signature and have it in the measure. I was just using that as a reminder that the F's are sharp. So you got your F sharp, A, F sharp, which again, F sharp, A, F sharp, A is minor. 1, 2, 3. And then G, G, B, G, and we're back to the tonic. So because we are in the key of G major, this is a major dyad, this is a minor dyad, this is a minor. This one we get to C, that's major again. D with the F sharp is major again. and the E is minor, the F sharp is minor, and then we're back to our G, which of course is major because we're in the key of G major. So all other things being natural, major, minor, minor, major, major, minor, minor. So it's, like I said, very much like the whole half, whole half. Major, minor, minor, major, major, minor, minor. And then you go back to your original major. And that is the way that the dyads will work in a major scale. Just as a point of interest, when I'm playing the triads this way, I'm playing the familiar fifth and octave down here because I'm playing the minor, so it moves my hand out of this position and it makes it awkward to go. So I just do it like that. And then here, I could also play it like this, but I'm playing it like this. Anyway, that's 1, 3, 5, an octave. 1, 3, 5, 8, 5, 3, 1. 1, 3, 5, 8, 5, 3, 1. 1, 3, 5, 8, 5, 3, 1. 1, 3, 5, 8, 5, 3, 1. And then up here, when I get up to the F sharp, like I said, it's not an F sharp chord, so we don't have a 5 in it. We don't have a 1, 3, 5. So what I'm doing is I'm playing a 1, a minor 3, which is actually the 5th from the D major chord. So then I'm going up and I'm playing a D note instead of the C sharp that would be the 5 of the F sharp. So I'm basically playing that, which it doesn't have the dissonance. So you go. And then this time, F sharp, A, D. Sorry. So that's a D major triad, even though I'm starting on an F sharp. And then to the G major triad. 1, 3, 5, 8. Instead of, because that C sharp isn't in the key. So. Okay, so it's an abbreviated lesson. We can go over as much of this as we need to in the future. And if you have any questions about any of what I talked about, I encourage you to write it down. Just make a note for yourself to ask me. But in quick summary, 1 sharp is key G major because the sharp is F, and that's the note in the musical alphabet before G. The flats work a different way, we'll get into that later. We're in G major, and your triads moving up, G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G, are going to be major, minor, minor, major, major, minor, minor. back to your tonic. Time signatures I'll talk about a little bit next time. Okay, hope